Alright, Buckeye fans, Volume Nation lurkers, and college football sickos everywhere, buckle up, because this one still stings fire. Today we're revisiting a game that refuses to die, a blowout that apparently moved into permanent mental real estate, and a head coach who may still be waking up in cold sweats thinking about scarlet and gray. Yes, we're talking about that college football playoff game. And yes, we're talking about Josh Heupel. Before we dive in, real quick, if you love college football breakdowns, spicy takes, and no-filter commentary, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. Alright, let's cook down finger. A beatdown that changed the vibes overnight. Let's rewind to late December 2024. The Ohio State Buckeyes were limping into the college football playoff with some of the worst vibes in the country. They had just taken another gut punch loss to the Michigan Wolverines, extending that nightmare streak to 4 straight losses in the game. Buckeye Nation was frustrated, angry, and honestly kind of numb. Nobody, and I mean nobody, was predicting what came next. Across the field stood the Tennessee Volunteers, riding high on confidence, swagger, and SEC bravado. This was supposed to be a competitive first-round CFP matchup. Analysts said Tennessee's offense would test Ohio State. Fans expected a shootout. What they got instead was a full-scale demolition. Ohio State came out like a team possessed. 3 touchdowns in the first quarter. Total control at the line of scrimmage. Speed, physicality, execution, everything Tennessee thought it had, Ohio State did better. By the time the final whistle blew on a 42-17 Buckeye win, the game had been over for a long, long time. And while Ohio State moved on with renewed confidence, it turns out Tennessee, and especially Josh Heupel, never really moved on at all. The loss that wouldn't go away. Fast forward to the present, and that CFP loss is still echoing loudly in Knoxville. Tennessee didn't just lose a game, they lost momentum. They stumbled through the following season, finishing 8-5 and missing the playoff entirely. For a program that thought it had arrived, that was a harsh reality check. And now, when Josh Heupel talks about the future of the college football playoff, his tone has changed dramatically. Instead of focusing on dominance, development, or competing with the best, Heupel is suddenly all about expansion. More teams, bigger brackets, wider margins for error. In short, he wants a 24-team playoff. Why Heupel wants more teams in? Heupel recently suggested that a massive expansion makes the most sense as college football continues to evolve. On the surface, that sounds reasonable. The sport is changing, the transfer portal, conference realignment, it's chaos out here. But let's be honest about what this really looks like. A 24-team playoff dramatically lowers the bar for entry. It rewards good not great teams. It gives programs multiple mulligans for sloppy regular seasons. And most importantly, it makes it far less likely that a mid-tier playoff team runs into an absolute juggernaut in the first round. You know, like Ohio State. Right now, the Big Ten has been pushing for a 24-team format, while the SEC has leaned toward a 16-team playoff. And Buckeye fans should be paying attention, because this decision will shape the sport for years. Why a 24-team CFP is a bad idea? Let's call it what it is. A 24-team playoff would water down everything that makes college football special. The regular season already matters less than it used to. Rivalry games don't carry the same do-or-die energy. Upsets don't feel as seismic. Now imagine a world where 3 losses don't even dent your playoff hopes. That's not elite football, that's NFL light without the parity. A 16-team playoff still rewards excellence. It still forces teams to show up every Saturday. And it still ensures that when the postseason arrives, the matchups actually mean something. Ohio State fans know this better than anyone. When the Buckeyes are locked in, they don't need a safety net. They don't need expanded brackets or consolation bids. They just need a shot, and Tennessee learned that the hard way. Fallout in Knoxville. The ripple effects of that CFP loss didn't stop with the scoreboard. Tennessee's roster took a hit, too. Quarterback Nico Yamaliva, once seen as a cornerstone of the program's future, ended up transferring to UCLA Bruins. That move alone signaled instability. When top talent starts looking elsewhere, it usually means belief inside the program is cracking. And while Tennessee still has resources, fans, and tradition, the idea that they're ready to consistently compete with the sports elite suddenly feels optimistic. Meanwhile, Ohio State has re-established itself as a postseason nightmare matchup, the kind of team no coach wants to see across the field in a win-or-go-home game. Broken confidence or strategic thinking? To be fair, Heupel would probably argue this is about fairness and opportunity. More teams, more access, more inclusion. And sure, that sounds good in a press conference. But college football has never been about participation trophies. It's about proving you belong, on the field, against the best. When a coach starts advocating for formats that make the road easier instead of demanding his team get better, fans notice. Recruits notice. And opposing fanbases definitely notice. From the outside, this looks less like innovation and more like avoidance. The Buckeye perspective. From an Ohio State standpoint, the message is simple: bring the competition. The Buckeyes don't need a 24-team safety blanket. They thrive when the stakes are highest and the margin for error is razor thin. A 16-team playoff keeps the sport honest. It preserves the importance of every Saturday. And it ensures that if you're hoisting a trophy at the end, you earned it. If expanding the playoff helps programs avoid getting embarrassed, maybe the problem isn't the format, maybe it's the gap at the top. Final thoughts. That Ohio State-Tennessee CFP game may be in the past, but its shadow is still hanging over the conversation today. One program used it as fuel. The other seems to be using it as a reason to rewrite the rules. And as college football hurtles toward its next era, fans have every right to ask, do we want more teams, or better teams? Let me know what you think in the comments. Should the CFP expand to 24 teams, or is 16 the sweet spot? And be honest, do you think Josh Heupel is still thinking about that Ohio State loss? If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe to the channel, drop a like, and share this with a fellow college football fan. We've got more heat coming all season long.